Okay, greetings. It's vlog time again. I decided to start with something I found earlier on Twitter. It's taken in Spain. Starlings swarming, which makes for some pretty interesting viewing, it has to be said. And I was trying to arrange my setup here so that I do my vlog talking with the screen in the background, but can't get the lighting right or anything, so. Yeah, I start off with this, and then turn the camera around, and see if I can do a vlog. So I picked up cheap wine earlier on. It was clearance, reduced price. There was only a couple of bottles left in the shop. So I decided to pick it up, but in this light I doubt I can read what it says. What the heck does it say? I nearly dropped it. It's all blurry. Groff de Genfeld. It says 1857. It says down here, sweet wine speciality with protected designation of origin. Secrecy, huh? I have no idea why I've still got my... I'm so accustomed to wearing my cordless headphones, I didn't even realize they were still on. The winery owned by the Count Degenfield family is committed to tradition and quality, made from organically grown grapes, shows what makes high quality sweet wine special. It is complex, fruity. I can testify to that. It's very fruity and lively at the same time. It says product of Hungary on here, on the label. And the serving temperature should be 12 degrees Celsius. Well, I don't know if it is 12 degrees Celsius, but so I use glasses for reading labels only. It's very sweet tasting. On to the vlog. Turn that off. Yeah, so I toyed with the idea actually. I was going to I was going to do a vlog from the laying down position, as I'm like, I rant at my best when I'm laying down on the sofa or something. But then I thought, nah, probably best to be sitting down or something. So, yeah, what was on my mind earlier, this curious thing about life. It's very strange, because you're born and you've got the sense of wonder originally and all that stuff, and you're full of questions and you're very inquisitive about the world, and then the years tick by and you get older and you learn this and you learn that. And, various things dawn on you as you age. But, so many rambling things was floating around in my mind earlier on. Of course, I don't write anything down, so there's no script. This is not a news bulletin where they read off the auto cue. So a lot of these vlogs are going to be kind of a bit rambly. Could be some pauses here and there, some umming and ahhing, as I sort of kick my brain into gear. So, so I think the best way to do these things is kind of, you pick a topic and you sort of just run with it and see where it goes. So I was thinking earlier on about people who I don't know where it comes from, this whole thing. Where does this mentality come from, If I can't pick it up with my five senses, then you must be either mentally ill or you're a paranoid conspiracy theorist. I was thinking about this earlier on, because, I've been going on Amazon's website these past several weeks, including the holidays, because they've done an entire rerun of the entire series of the X-Files. And I've been going back and I've been watching quite a few X-Files episodes lately. And some of those episodes they're clearly having a laugh, because some of those episodes are like comedy, and they're trying to poke fun at the same time, not getting too serious. But I was thinking earlier on, Mulder, Scully, the X-Files, that whole thing only is scraping the surface when it comes to having some multi-dimensional thoughts. So what do I mean? I say, well, take a look at the current financial system that we've got going nowadays. I mean, you want to talk about the illusory nature of money and what have you. 15 years ago, I would have held a £5 note in the air and I would have just said, look, it's just a piece of paper, crumbly piece of paper or whatever. The society, but nowadays you go to a lot of people at least go to the supermarket, they will get their groceries, including me, groceries, and don't pay by cash. You put the card in the machine and it's an electronic transaction. Well, you've got people out in society that laugh, mock, ridicule anything which is, if I can't pick it up with my five senses, if I can't see it, touch it, taste it, whatever, then it can't be real. What's going to happen when we move into a cashless society? When we're rapidly moving into it now, but I mean, when that process is complete, you won't have a single person anymore handing over cash at the supermarket checkout. So all physical money is taken out of circulation. So there's no more physical money, financial transactions taking place anywhere. So when all physical cash is taken out of circulation, physical money no longer exists. You no longer hold it in your hand. Once it gets to that stage, You no longer pick up any of that with your five senses. I mean, some people will say, you know, oh, my bank card or my phone app or something. This is another area that they're going to move into now is you'll pay for everything using an app on your phone. So you'll just swipe something on your phone and the transaction will take place that way. And so you say, so how does your phone work? Or how is your phone connected to the internet? Wi-Fi. Okay, do any of your natural five senses pick up any of the Wi-Fi? We're drowning in it basically nowadays. 4G. Once 5G's been fully implemented, we will be literally swimming in Wi-Fi everywhere. Unless you have a phone, a tablet, or a laptop or something for you to be able to connect to that Wi-Fi. Just imagine for a second, you know, you've got no phone, you've got no tablet, you've got no laptop. Can you pick up any of that Wi-Fi around you using your five senses? No, you can't. This is a bit of a, isn't this a bit of a rabbit punch to the face of those people who mock? As I say, I can't detect it with my five senses, so therefore it can't exist. Well, that's a load of BS, clearly. Yeah, so that was one of the thoughts that was circulating around in my head earlier on. Camera, focus. Oh, and talk to the hand. So you remember that expression from several years ago? So there's all kinds of random thoughts going through my head earlier. My mind is a bit like a fragmented hard drive. You remember the hard drives back in the days of, you know, Windows 7 or Windows 95, Windows 98 and all that. Fragmented, you know, thoughts here, there and everywhere. Not necessarily related to each other. But something else that was on my mind, for some random reason, I suddenly thought Jack Nicholson. I had no idea why. I don't know. I was starting to think about movies. Jack Nicholson's been in a lot of movies over the years. So then I'm thinking to myself, he must be getting on a bit now, you know. He's still alive, isn't he? So I went and did a bit of research. Yes, he is still alive. He's in his 80s. But I was thinking about one of the movies that he starred in quite a number of years ago now. It's a movie called The Pledge. If you watch The Pledge, there's a sequence in that movie where there's a young girl on a swing and she's reciting the lyrics of a very well-known fairy tale song, or whatever it's called. So the lyrics go, part of the lyrics go, Jesus loves me, that I know, because the Bible tells me so. So, you know, I stopped and analysed that for a moment. What kind of message is that going into a young person's head? I find it a bit worrying because it's like you must believe what is written between the two covers of this book here. You must believe it. You know, don't question it. Just believe it. And this whole thing can lead on to a much deeper topic about credulity, gullibility, how easy it is to implant certain thoughts and ideas into a human mind, particularly a human mind that is still in the developmental stage. Um, it's pretty well known that, as we age, we we develop more critical thinking skills, but we don't start off with that, which makes the very young particularly vulnerable to suggestibility. And yeah, so that was another thing that was floating around earlier. So I'll swing the camera back around to there's a flock of starlings in Spain. This was captured. It's pretty amazing footage. It's not getting captured fantastically well. Um, I'm not seeing the sort of interference lines of because this is a TV screen, so I guess it must be something to do with frequency. So it's the wrong frequency to be captured by the camera, so there's a flickering effect. Astounding footage. Lots of interesting shapes getting formed. So that flock of starlings there will be a very significant number of birds all, flocked together, just swarming around in the sky. Very, very, very good show to whoever managed to film that. So, swing the video camera back around again. Wait for it to focus. Sometimes I can be in a pretty sort of mood or whatever in the evenings, um, when I'm sort of getting a bit really fed up with things and what have you, and you can't help but think, you start running through it in your head, there's scams here, there's scams there, there's people being overpriced here, overpriced there, rail fares. As I just read it on the news yesterday that the government are taking back Northern Rail or something because their service has been so atrocious lately that the government have had enough and they're basically taking direct control back for themselves. Shoddy services, poor scheduling, and consistently late trains and all the rest of it. But every single January they really hike up the annual the train ticket prices. There's a massive increase every single January, and people are paying through the nose for a shoddy service. How long's that going to go on for? How many years can that go on for? People will tolerate the continuing shoddy service whilst the prices continue to get hiked up. There was a website I visited many, many years ago. I haven't even checked recently to see if it's still there or not. So I used to frequently visit a website called Rip Off Britain, and quite a lot of the scams used to be revealed on that website. Pretty astounding, really. The way we're getting scammed from so many different directions on a day-to-day basis. But yeah, I'm thinking of various things. Like there was a person I used to support, but I don't anymore because it kind of, I've taken a very strong stance. Like, um, so I'm not going to mention, names. So let's just say somebody put some music mixes together once. Um, they provided it for free. I get the argument about storage space costs money, and the person is putting some time and effort in to put some mixes together. Um, but the problem I've got with it is people who charge money, but they're not putting out any original content of their own. To cut a long story short, and they charge money. So yeah, you got somebody who puts some music mixes together. So what they're really doing is they are merging together various tracks from different artists to create a long mix. And yeah, okay, there's a certain amount of skill involved in making sure the tracks blend seamlessly from one to the other, and what have you. But at the end of the day, it's other people's work. And so you got somebody who's putting music mixes together. Yes, they can. Of course, they should provide links to where you can buy the music from the artists. Um, but when somebody's putting music mixes together, that they're not creating any music themselves. They are mixing together tracks from other artists and then putting a mix out there. But when that person themselves puts themselves behind a paywall, and tell people that they must pay money to listen to it. Yeah, I kind of draw the line there. Or you can sign up for so much a month, and you can get the continuous mix without the person talking over the top of it. That's still not the point. Is any of that money going to the actual artists themselves that created those tracks? And okay, so I've got, I decided to put my foot down there, and I say no. I'm not going to support people who just put themselves behind a paywall. I keep saying firewall for some reason. People who put themselves behind a paywall when they are presenting stuff that is not their own original stuff. If it's your own original stuff, that is fine. Got no problem with it. So, yeah, that was something else that was on my mind earlier. There was gazillions of other things as well, but my video right now is coming up on 24 minutes. Yeah, okay. I don't want any one video to go beyond about 30 minutes if I can help it. Try and keep them relatively short-ish. So yeah, I think I'll wrap it up here, and thanks for watching. See you next video, whatever it is, gaming or vlog or whatever. So I'm out.